Hey, how y'all doing? Zeke Johnson here, aka the Detroit Real Estate Man. I wanted to bring you guys this quick video about double closing. I'm recently doing some wholesale deals with some other wholesalers, and sometimes the seller, when they see that you are signing a property, or if you tell them or anything like that, it makes them want to get more. They feel like they sold their property short. Okay, so you guys have to do a good job of disclosing or not disclosing your fee or exactly how you plan on selling the property. I just let them know. I give them a couple options. Like, I let them know I'm going to buy the property, or if things don't work out where I'm going to buy it, one of my investor friends will buy it. Okay, I let them know. I show them at the end of the contract. Give me the right to enter or assign my rights to a contractor. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, sometimes I don't go over any of that because it's not important. I feel like if they want to sell their property for $20,000, we get under contract for $20,000. The contract is their job to read throughout the contract. It's I can enter or assign it. Once I find me a buyer, I'm writing an assignment agreement. But listen up, if my assignment agreement is between $7,000 and $10,000, I'm thinking about double closing it, because sometimes your buyer may feel like you are getting more money than you should, especially if y'all closing multiple deals. They start to look at your pockets. And then if you're making over $10,000, it's a possibility that you can lose the deal. So let's talk about doing a double closing and how that works. A double closing happens when you have two purchase agreements between, it's called the A to B, that's you and the seller. That's A to B, right? And then you find a buyer, a cash buyer, that's going to give you $10,000 or $15,000 more than what you have it under contract for. So you sign another contract between you, which is you as B. So that's called A to B, and then B to C. Okay. So you and the seller have a contract together, and then you and the buyer have a purchase agreement together. That may sound confusing, but the title company knows what you're doing. That's why it's very important for you to call up title companies and find out, are they investor friendly? Do they do assignment contracts, and do they do double closings? Okay. Now, some title companies may say no on a double closing because they feel like you're using the end buyer funds to fund both transactions, and that's not what you're doing. Okay. So you're going to take both contracts, send it to the title company. Now you have to line up something called fast cash or transactional funding. If you guys are here local, reach out to me at info@Detroit Real Estate Man, and I will point you in the right direction who we use for transactional funding. What is transactional funding? It's short-term lending, 1 to 3 days. Okay, it's meant to come in and come right out same day, same hour possibly. Okay, so let's move forward. You go to the closing table. You're going to sign documents between you and the seller, but you don't have any money. Okay, you don't have any money. Once you sign the documents and your buyer, your end buyer, come in with a cashier check, the transactional fund is going to send in that $20,000 to fund that first transaction, and then your buyer is going to come in with $30,000 and buy that property right from you. So you're the owner for about 25 to 30 minutes. Okay. So you got a PA between you and the seller, a PA between you and the buyer. You hire a transactional funding company. They're going to come in and fund the deal, and then you're going to have a double closing. You're going to have a closing at 10 o'clock, and then you have a closing at 10:30 or 11 o'clock. The seller will not get their funds and probably to the end of the day once everything is funded. Okay? Your buyer is going to come in with their cashier check. The title company is going to verify that with the transactional funding people. And then they're going to lend, they're going to just wire over the money. They're going to charge you 1% of the transaction. What we do here, we have a title company that's going to do ours for $850, no matter what the amount is. Okay, so that's how you do a double closing, okay? And it's really meant when you're trying to hide the amount of money that you're making from the buyer or the seller, because sometimes you could lose the deal. Another way that you can do this without doing a double closing is something called a marketing fee agreement. Now, typically, I don't hear a lot of people talking about this, but this saved my life when I first started wholesaling, because I was scared. I was one of those wholesalers that I was scared to mark it up anything. Like I'm making $2,000. I thought everybody was gonna freak out. So I used to use a marketing fee agreement all the time. I never done assignments. You know, to be honest with you, I just did my first assignment like last month. I don't use the assignment contract. I just thought the marketing fee agreement was better, because when you find a buyer, especially a serious buyer, somebody that's looking to build a huge portfolio, they really don't care what you make. You never gotta like be sneaky or whatever with them. You just, well, I used to just find a property, I'll send it to my buyer, I'll fill out a marketing fee agreement with my fee. The marketing fee agreement is between you, it's between the seller and the buyer, but it has you on there as a consulting fee for, you know, whatever your fee is. So if it's 5,000, 10,000, you just put it on there, the buyer sign it, and it's on his HUD statement, okay? So the seller never sees that, and you get paid at closing just like that. I mean, I made over a couple $100,000 with marketing fee agreements. So I'm going to include a marketing fee agreement at the bottom of this link, at the bottom of this video, so you guys can download that and use that. I would suggest using that if you're cool with the buyer or you're cool with the seller. So I'm doing a deal now where the assignment is about $6,000, and I had just sold my buyer a few properties. I made about another $10,000. So I didn't want him to, you know, like, damn Zeke, you done made $20,000 in the last couple of days or a couple of weeks. So the seller was real cool. So I told the seller the price is X. I say, look, we're gonna give you 22, and then I want you to sign this marketing fee agreement. I'm gonna get 6,000, and then, you know, you're gonna pay me. It's gonna be dispersed to me at closing, but it's not coming out of your money. Your price is set at what we agreed to. Bam. If the seller is cool, he's an investor as well. He like, hey, I just want 22. Whatever you put on the top of that, that's yours. So you're gonna meet some real investors like that, and then you're gonna meet some real buyers like that don't even care. And then you just use the marketing fee agreement. Don't even worry about that assignment. You know what I'm saying? That's if you're moving a lot of volume to buy and hold investors. If you're working in the suburbs and you selling to a fix and flipper here, you know, you're doing large deals here and there, use the assignment or do the double closing. But in my market, there's a lot of rental property, and the assignment fee normally be between $2,500 to $5,000. You know, sometimes higher, but that's the average. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we move a lot of property in volume, you know, as far as assignment. So you know, all that getting under contract, assigning it can be kind of time consuming. I just get the property, send it to my buyer. If he like it, he already know what I'm doing. He's not gonna try to cut me out, because investors need wholesalers, because, you know, I'm a flipper. So anytime a wholesaler bring me a property, I never argue their fee, because I need these houses in order for me to make money. So I need to flip these houses. So I just slowed down with the flipping a little bit, just trying to take a break. So I've been wholesaling some deals. And when you meet a good buyer, they don't care about your wholesale fee, okay? So use that marketing fee agreement, and you know, to the best of your ability. I'm using it right now. I do it on a lot of my deals, so I'm going to include that in the video, so click the video below. So I hope that answered my student's question. Thank you guys for your support. Like and subscribe my YouTube channel, Detroit Real Estate Man, and I'll see you guys in the next video.